Okay,
Yes, it is.
great. So what you want to do even before you create your website is first get clear on who your ideal client is. And I just created a mind map, and this is a resource that you can download from my website, lorigama.com. And you start here in the center. Can you see my cursor as well? If you can't see my cursor, just
No.
okay. You would start in the center and you would just write down your characteristics of your ideal client. And I have one example there to get you started. It's in red letters, and one characteristic of your ideal client might be that it's somebody who's fun to work with. So you would just jot down all the characteristics of your perfect client in the center of the circle, and that's where you begin. And I won't go into great detail on the rest of these steps. I'm going to go through them really quickly, but you can download this on your own. It's a free resource on my website, and I encourage you to fill this out. If you think that you know who your clients are, I think it's still worthwhile for you to go through. And if you say that everyone is your client, then I strongly encourage you to go through this exercise, because not everyone is your client, and the more focused you are on who that is, you will actually start to grow your business more and have more fun doing what you do. So after you get out of the center circle and you have your characteristics of your ideal client, you would proceed over to the right area here, number 1, and write down what is their biggest problem. Because their biggest problem, ideally, you have a solution for. So write down what that is. It might even be 2 problems, 3 problems, and perhaps you have several services that can solve those problems. Then the next thing you want to get clear on, number 2 below that, is what words would they say when they need your help? They would say, I need either a life coach who can help me organize my life, or I need a graphic artist who can really capture my true essence through my graphics. Whatever they would say, your ideal client would say, I need, that's what you want to write down there. So then this way, after completing this step of your mind map, you're clear on the things that they would say, what they're in need of. You could also describe to other people what your ideal clients would say when they meet them. Then the next step after that is number 3. Are there any other ideal clients that you have? If so, go ahead and jot those down. For example, mine are heart-centered entrepreneurs. These usually are mostly women, but there are many heart-centered men entrepreneurs as well. They might be CEOs. Perhaps you work with only troubled youth. I mean, we could go on and describe different types of clients. But if there are any others besides your biggest, most perfect one, go ahead and jot those down. Then proceed to step number 4, over to the bottom left, and describe what is her or his biggest dream. What is their ultimate achievement that they want to achieve in their life? Perhaps you're the person that can help them get started on their way to their big goal. So write down what things that they are dreaming of, and write down the biggest dream they have. Then that way you're clear on their ultimate goal. After that, then you do step 5, and you write down a name that you can make up for your ideal client, so that you begin to draw out this visual picture in your mind of who your client is. You've even given her or him a name. Perhaps it's Stephanie, or perhaps it's Jonathan. You know how you start to form a picture when you have a name. Write down their gender, primarily female or male. Write down what age or age range they're in. Perhaps it's only women over 45, or perhaps it's men and women between the ages of 18 to 22. So you see why you begin to narrow your ideal clients down into one group, even by just their age range and their gender. Then write down what profession they have, what their annual income is, Are they single, divorced, married? Do they have teenagers in the home? Do they have college-age kids out of the home? Do they have young kids? What are their ages? And so you see that you have created this portrait of your ideal client, and you could even maybe cut out a picture of an ideal client and post that on the mind map as well. And then one last thing is just think of what is their first thought upon awakening. What's the first thing that pops into their head when they wake up in the morning? Usually we have a barrage of thoughts that begin to hit our minds when we wake up. Some people have made a very good habit of immediately thinking of things that make them feel grateful. What are they grateful for? Most of the time, we just think of, okay, what's the biggest problem we have that day and how are we going to solve it? So that's what I want you to think. What would your ideal client say or think of when he or she wakes up? And if that big problem is something you can solve, that's good. And so that would be number 6. What is at the very top of the mind map, what is your solution for your ideal client? And perhaps it's more than one thing. So these would be all of your services. Perhaps you're a life coach, so your services could consist of hourly coaching, or perhaps it's a special program that your clients sign into. Perhaps somebody like me, an online marketer, it would be web design, SEO, social media marketing. So whatever your solutions are for your ideal clients, those are also your services. So I just want to make sure that I hope that was clear, and